So everyone's talking about, hey, how good is the 8th anniversary? How good is it compared to the 7th anniversary and the worldwide celebration? Very interesting topics. I may cover that later on this week. I want to personally get, I'd say, just a good standing of what I think about the anniversary, rather than immediately hopping off the anniversary and being like, okay, this is what I think, right? I want some time to let us sit in, but today I will be talking about what I think about the units that released during the anniversary, just a retrospective and how they could be improved or if they even need any improvements. Some units are not perfect, some units I think were handled perfectly well. We'll talk about them here. So again, January 29th is when the 8th anniversary, my apologies, did start here. We'll talk about the two headliner LRs, so and the brand units as well. It's gonna be fun times. I'm gonna skip this Bobbity for now. We'll talk about him when we see like his LR in ETA and stuff, right? So straight up with this unit, I wouldn't change anything about them. They're just good, perfect design. Honestly, incredible, great unit. Again, if I had to change something, make this guaranteed, I guess. Sure, not really that big of a deal. This unit is really good. I'm big fan of this unit. I think they did a great job with them. The animations, they're powerful. The revive is so good. Overall, just fantastic work with this unit. I guess maybe this is not really that great, but who cares? Honestly, like this unit is fantastic, amazing. I think that it's pretty crazy, but this unit is definitely the best unit in the game. Especially with this 50% reduction that builds up, pretty wild, pretty strong. So big fan of them for sure. I think that they did a great job. Now this unit I think is underrated, Loki. I think that this unit could be better still, but I think that the community acts like this unit sucks or isn't really as good defensively as they really are. And a lot of people talk about, oh, you can't attack with the standby, but then they do like the second hardest hitting attack in the game. Their Spirit Bomb actually does hit harder than the GT Goku and Vegeta Spirit Bomb, even though they stack attack. Just because of this buff is pretty nasty, right? 500% extra attack, and then this right here as well. I believe that this is actually multiplicative against this 500%, which is why it hits so hard. And this attack hits harder than the GT Spirit Bomb. It's just that this one can take a little longer to come out, but this unit is invincible in the slot that they're in, right? So it's just very impressive with this unit. I think people's issues is with this unit defensively, and I kind of get why. There's two things I would probably change about this unit together. I think this is a double change. This is honestly like a useless ability on them, unfortunately. You would love to get additionals with these guys because they have this 50% crit chance, but you need a crit on the Spirit Bomb. Like, this is the point of this unit, the Spirit Bomb, getting the Spirit Bomb off, right? The second hardest hitting attack right now in the game. And the thing about that is you can't really like crit in this mode at all. There's no crit in his passive. Like, maybe if this had crit chance, or see, he has 8% reduction per keys obtained. If this was also crit chance, then that'd be better. I guess that's maybe another alternate change they can make. Like, yeah, what if they did that? What if this was 8% chance to crit and damage reduction per key sphere obtained? I don't see an issue with that. Just why not? Screw it, man. Right? And then the Spirit Bomb would basically well, I guess that no, never mind. I'm a liar. That wouldn't matter because you have to use this before you get key spheres. Okay, never mind. I'm a liar. Just give me like a what if they get guaranteed crit on their finish skill? Why not? Right? I don't see why they couldn't have. Like, yeah. If they get guaranteed crit on their finish skill, and then one other thing I would change is this ability. What if they guarded in the first slot? Would they be better than the GT Duo? Not necessarily, I'd say, honestly, even with that. Because this GT Duo, even though they don't stack defense, they still have the damage reduction, which I still feel is extremely powerful. And then on top of that, this revive, like, Spirit Bomb is so much easier to get than what this one is. So it makes sense that this one would hit harder, honestly. But if they didn't want to give this guaranteed crit, they could honestly just get rid of this and then just give them the guard in the first slot. Maybe that'd be more balanced approach. I mean, like, don't give them this extra defense is what I'm saying. Give them the guard instead. And then that could be better, especially early on for this unit. And then you can make this as a much better rotation, I think, right? This Goku and Vegeta. I guess this Goku and Vegeta as well. Like, they could be a much better rotation if you have to designate a slot one unit like that. But that's all I would change. Very, very little things. I think that unit is still like a top 5 unit in the game by far. This unit, like, honestly, everything needs to be buffed. This should be higher. Honestly, this is okay, though, I would say. This should be guaranteed. Even if they didn't want this, like, this, I feel like this is the reason why this isn't guaranteed. So either just make it guaranteed, or get rid of this and then make them guaranteed, right? If you have to get rid of something. Like, that'd be such a massive change. Make them support Final Trump Card. I think that'd be really helpful. Or Blue Saga, but preferably Final Trump Card. Like, if they gave, like, they didn't even have to give Key, their Rainbow Orb Changer. It's like 30%, no, 40% attack and defense to Final Trump Card. That'd be helpful. This should be a high chance to even enemy attacks. And then this should be an additional within a high chance to become super. Oh no, it is actually. Never mind, I'm a liar. Okay, so that's good. That's all I would change, really. And then maybe just make both of these stack defense. Like, I don't see the point. Like, them stacking attack doesn't matter at all. They don't have an active skill. They're not gonna hit hard like that. Just make them both stack defense. Why not? Like, okay, that'd be pretty nasty. And this unit could be really, really good, but yeah, they held back on this unit a lot. This should have been a support unit, but it is what it is. This unit also should have been a support unit. G2 bosses, key 3, 80% attack and defense. Why not? Like, is there an issue with that? I don't think so. I don't think anyone would have an issue with this. Like, just get rid of this attack. No one cares about how hard they hit. Like, they're not going to hit that hard in general. Like, they don't hit that hard in general. They can do okay damage, right? I mean, with the super effective. But you don't really want this unit to be doing that. So make this, like, I don't know, some defensive tech. Like, what if this was, like, evasion? Like, 50% chance to dodge. And then this was support with 4 or more key spheres. That'd be sick. Like, they gave, like, 40% attack and defense to do bosses. Then another 40% when you get 4 key spheres. Yeah, that would be pretty nasty. Again, they wouldn't be hitting hard, but who cares? I don't care. Like, this is... They should have another role than being just your generic hard hitter with solid defense, right? That's just not gonna fly anymore. Units like that don't fly anymore. So, yeah, Anniversary Iceland Run. That's all I have to say. So next after this, nothing really else for the rest of January. I mean, it was only 2 days, right? In February, we got these two guys, the 3rd of February. So, again, everyone loves this guy, right? We all love this guy, this physical super Vegito. Honestly, an easy change they could have done. This could have just been made 50% damage reduction to all attacks. I think a lot of people were wanting that, but they don't really do easy A's like that. So if we're gonna make a realistic easy A based on how they usually do handle like these easy A units, they like keeping the same kind of weakness to them. This unit I doubt would ever be able to take a super attack. I mean, I had this interesting idea where, like, you know, give them damage reduction like 80% against a super attack once only, or 50%. And then after they get hit with a super attack, they have Scouter for the rest of the battle. That could be something interesting, but Dokkan doesn't really like doing interesting stuff. So, well, I guess maybe they could have gone, this guy could have gone a Scouter somehow. Like, I don't know, after he takes 3 attacks, he gets a Scouter for a few turns. That could be something that I could see them doing. Or another important thing that they need, well, I wouldn't say or, and another thing he needed was more damage. I think that this should have been attack maybe, or you should have had like 80% attack start of turn. And you know how massive that actually would be as a difference with this multiplicative buff? Like, that would make a really, really huge difference in terms of the damage this guy could do, especially with his battle crits. Like, you guys don't understand. That would be very, very good for him. And yeah, there's not really many changes you could do to make this guy really good. Unfortunately, they didn't want to make him really good. I guess they were more comfortable with him being undertuned than him being overtuned, which I understand as he's a 2017 unit, but it's their fault for taking so long to easy A this guy. Unfortunate for this Vegito. This Boo is pretty good overall. I like this Boo Ultimate Gohan form. I wouldn't change anything about this Boo Ultimate Gohan form. I guess if they really wanted to, like, this could have been guaranteed. You usually get it, but I guess they just didn't want to make that guaranteed. Blue Piccolo is very, very powerful. Wouldn't really change the thing about him. Now, what I would change is the biggest thing I'll change for sure. Make this turn 4. Turn 4 would be such a huge difference because it's turn 5, you're stuck with this guy for 2 turns, even if you float him off most of the time. But if it's turn 4, you're guaranteed only having this guy for 1 turn at the beginning of the fight, which is not the worst thing ever. Considering, you know, some fights can be debuffed. His defense gets to, like, you know, 500k after he gets his full defensive pass of more or higher than 500k. Honestly, 500k is probably lowballing it even. But he can get to enough defense where he can take every normal in the game, even by these very, very high-end bosses like final phases. But again, super attacks where he gets creamed. But if it's early on, it's not going to be that big of a deal. So yeah, that's really what I would change about Boo. Boo Gotenks here, like, I mean, I guess coming back to this guy, they could have maybe given him a little more somehow, but I don't think it's necessary. Like, considering he's an easy, I'm not like gonna go out of my way and be like, you know, like this Gotenks that I talked about on the other page, he's like a brand new summonable unit, right? He should have much more than what he got. This unit is very old easy A, so I'm like gonna be a little more, I'd say, realistic with what they could have done. This unit should have just not had this ability. Like, no, they should have just gotten attacking defense 80% when, I don't know, something else. Maybe it should have just been added to here, or I don't know. This debuff status is like you can't get that off in most situations. So I don't see the point. And this should have been guaranteed additional super, and he should have like raised attacking defense for the turn. Like, what if he stacked? Like, who cares? Like, just give him every super attack effect in the game. Yeah, if you literally just make him stack and he's like twice as good. That's it, right? And that's fine. This Boo is mostly, I think, intended for long-term fights anyways, considering it is 5th turn. I would love it to be the 4th turn, but yeah. Yeah, that's really kind of the things I'm thinking about this Boo. I think the Boo is pretty good, though. Vegito could be better, for sure. I guess I'll just talk about these guys and their easy A's. We'll just wait until we get to the easy A portion. I kind of want to talk about these two. So, this unit right here, he should have had more defense, is what I'd say. Let's see. This should not have been restricted to Super Saiyans. It should have, like, what if, they probably wouldn't remove the restriction. Honestly, they don't really like removing those restrictions. Make it Super Saiyans or Pure Saiyans. Now that would be really good. And then give him 59% defense when attacking. Yeah, that's what I would do. Something like that. And then he'd be like twice as good. He's like so close to being really, really good. It's that he's too restrictive. The Super Saiyans category team is not really a category team we're gonna run. And recently we've been getting a lot of like power beyond Super Saiyan units, right? I mean, let's take a look at the good units you'd run with this guy. This Gohan. Probably get away with running these guys. You probably get away with this guy. Again, these Gokus have the same name, so not really that big of a deal. This unit's good. That's it. Yep, that's really all you would go out of your way to run. I mean, I guess this unit, like, because this unit could fit the like Vegeta Trunks team. You have him as a floater, and you have Future Gohan if you still run Future Gohan. This is way better option than Future Gohan. I wouldn't even call that Future Gohan a bad unit right now. There's just a lot of different options you'd probably prefer to run over him, especially because again we're back to like kind of shorter events. Blue Cow Ken, I wouldn't change anything about him. Actually, there's one thing I would probably change. So this guard only activates like only if you have a Universe Rival Saga category ally in rotation. Like, it's not like a situation where like it's only for those first 5 turns he's on appearance. So what happens is even if you activate the guard on like turn 3, he still can only guard until turn 5 regardless. That's how the guard works, and he still needs to have the Universe Survival Saga category ally. So it can't be where you're turn 3, and then you get a Universe Survival Saga unit on a rotation, and you're like, cool, okay, and then you float that unit off, and then turn 5, there's no Universe Survival Saga unit, he still won't guard. But then, again, turn 5, after turn 5, he still can't guard either. So that's the issue with it. I don't know if it's really supposed to be intended like that. Based on the wording, like this wording right here from first appearance is maybe the issue. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Hopefully that would be fixed or changed in the future. But I wouldn't change about this guy anything at all. We just need more reps Universe 7 to buff him. That's really it. That Blue Falcon Goku is quite good, considering the situation he's at. He's like, he's a unit that they looked at the current landscape of the game and actually made him better around it, which they kind of don't do for these EZAs. Like literally this AGL Super Saiyan Goku, they did not do that. They did not make him less restrictive or give him enough to like make it like okay for that to happen. While as this Goku they did. Because it's like, well, it's so restrictive, but he's gonna be like, he actually has the hardest hitting attack in the game. So, so this is me in the future at the time of this recording. I realized I forgot. Well, I didn't really forget. It wasn't actually in the timeline of events for some reason. This Z Kai Goku and then the Kai Gohan were not in the timeline of events for some reason, so I couldn't really talk about them in the video. So I just want to insert this part in, and we're gonna talk about him here. So this unit right here, we'll start with the Kai Goku. I think he's actually handled very, very well. There's not really anything I would really change about his design. No, I feel like he's actually perfectly fine. Just taking a look here again, he's just doing so many things. I guess one thing I would say is, this KO attack, like he receives it, but then he like takes the next attack and he dies. It's not like Yajirobe or anything like that. So maybe if they added something mid-turn, like if this heal that he gets 40% HP recovery, if this could proc mid-turn instead of just the end of turn, that would be like, that would just make this guy twice as good. And that's really all I would change. I know one big issue is this extra attack. Once he gets it off, he hits really, really hard. But I don't feel like it's necessarily something that he has to have, because he's more of a defensive unit, at least in my opinion, right? So if he had this, heal mid-turn to benefit from the survive KO mechanic, especially once his guard does run out for like 1 or 2 turns after his guard runs out, he could still definitely die to these super attacks. So having that KO attack survival right there would be pretty cool for him to be able to benefit off of it, because otherwise it's pretty useless. But yeah, there's not really anything I would change for this Goku specifically. I think they did really, really good with him. You could honestly argue him as a top 5 unit even. Like, he's that good. Maybe people wouldn't be, like, agreeing. I guess no, probably not after, like, the Blue Fusions EZAs, but this guy is definitely easily top 10 unit. Now, this Gohan, there's issues with him that I feel like it's just a major issue. The biggest change I would do is this damage reduction. This shouldn't be just after he attacks and hits the enemy with the super attack. It should honestly be like 30% reduction, and then just in general, or maybe even 40% reduction in general, right? I feel like one of those two things. Because since he can't get his damage reduction in slot 1, what happens here is that he wants to take 9 attacks, and it's like not really too common. You're gonna get the 9 attacks. To get these 2 extra things and get, especially here, this extra defensive key. He wants to take multiple attacks build up. It's like not something you're gonna really see. Another thing I would change, maybe his 12 key super attack right here, that's just raising attack for the turn. Like if he, I don't know, he doesn't have to stack defense, but if it was like a defense raise for the turn, that'd be good as well. But that's really it. I guess, yeah, just to make that additional benefit. This extra attack, not the biggest deal. Maybe this could have been extra defense as well, and just focus on him being a defensive unit. Because I feel like this unit is kind of split between being offensive and defensive. I would prefer that they just went full in defense, make this damage reduction like that, get rid of some of the extra attack, right? He could have the additionals and then the super effective here, that's fine. But just stuff like that Maybe even if he just did stack attack defense on his 12 key super attack, I don't think it would have been that big of a deal. And it probably would have made this, even if they kept this the same, it would have made it less of an issue. But that's really all I would do. I guess their link sets and giving this Goku and Gohan, both of them prepared for battle or Saiyan lineage, would have also been a very big help. And stuff like this guy doesn't need infighters, right? This Gohan doesn't need, I guess all these links are really Gohan links, like Z Fighters. Probably just get rid of that, right? Give them some key links as well, but that's all I would change. We're gonna cut back to me in the past, and yeah, I'll enjoy the rest of the video. These guys are anniversary units, so I guess we'll take a look at them real quick here. All of these 5 guys, again, that's a ton of anniversary ETAs. This unit sucks. Make them stack attack defense, easy buff, right? That's all I'd say. I mean, I won't focus too much on these guys. This Piccolo, I think he's fine. Yeah, I think he's really good. Nothing I would change about him. You want the Gohan Kid on the rotation, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal, I guess. No, I like this guy. This Piccolo is quite good. Very, very powerful unit. Let's see, Angel Bardock. Again, I think him, this Gohan, and this Goku, I think they're all fine. I wouldn't really change anything about them. I guess, this depends on if, we get like that LR, like, say they got Goku that leads legendary existence, like, like this guy, right? I guess that could be good for, like, him, but yeah. I guess, like, these two guys' defense could be a little higher. Like, this goes stacking, so it's not that big of a deal. And then this buff is pretty huge as if they're attacking the turn. Like, this Gohan, I wouldn't change anything about him. Again, you could obviously make him better, but it's like he's a free-to-play World Tournament EZA. I think he's good enough. This Bardock too, honestly, I wouldn't really have to like go out of my way to change anything about these guys. The issue with this guy is that he has the same name as the Dokkan Goku, but another issue is that he wants to be facing like multiple enemies like this. Not really something you're gonna see. I think they really like hammered in like the multiple enemies like fighting thing, and that's unfortunate. What would I do to change him? I don't know, honestly. There's nothing you could do to change this guy to make him worth running, because we have the physical one. Yeah. That's the sad truth, but really that's the truth. Kind of same with the Tech Super Saiyan Goku, but I guess if they gave this guy like a slightly different role, like maybe if he was like because that Kid Goku is a support unit that you would want with Dodge. Yeah, this guy's unsalvageable. That's kind of crazy, but he really is just unsalvageable. Like, what would you do? Let me know what you guys would do. I can't really think of anything at the top of my head. I guess just make him not have these multiple enemy restrictions. Like, what if this was just like on super attack, and then he doesn't need this? Like, what if he keeps that against 2 more enemies? Sure, because there's something in his past with 2 more enemies. So at the very least, he'll have that, and you could at least get that. Like, let's say against the Red Zone Gamma fight, that could be a situation where you could fight multiple enemies, right? And I think that could be an interesting spot for him. But yeah, that's it really for this Kid Goku. Okay, now we have these 2 guys, the EZAs, and I might as well bring these guys up. But that's actually it for the 8th anniversary. That's all the units. Wow, okay. This video is a little longer, but it's fine. This Babidi, I wouldn't really change one thing about Babidi, but I think Majin Vegeta, him getting all these Saiyan links don't really work out well. You should have just kept like Brutal Beatdown, Thirst for Conquest. He should have kept Nightmare. But he kind of changes all these links to Saiyan links that don't really work on that team. What else could they do for him? He's free to play. Maybe give him orb changing. Could be nice. Again, this could have been a situation where having that guarantee crit could be really helpful. Like on the actual finished attack, but I couldn't really change so much about him. I think he's solid. I wouldn't say he's like anything spectacular, but he's solid. But he should have had, what if they just let him attack? Right, I think they could have let him attack, give him some animation and stuff. because the damage that he does here just doesn't make up for him not attacking like the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Vegeta. And his defensive ability is not that great either to also make up for that. I guess they could make the damage reduction higher, 60%, and then he'd be actually taking pretty, like, much better. But yeah, I don't know. This Majin Vegeta, unfortunate. Bobby's good though. This Hercule, I don't know. Like, this is basically his gimmick. Like, everything else doesn't really matter too much. Like, he has debuffs, like a high chance debuff. I guess it's 100% raise is pretty helpful. This is like okay. This is like you're not gonna see like any of this stuff ever at all. You're not gonna see that stuff, right? And then this high chance to revive. I guess they could have. I don't know. He's free to play. Honestly, I think this is fine. Like I feel like sure it's not great, but it's still free like revive unit. Maybe they could have made it like the 5th turn. Like they could have lowered the turn count or made it like a great chance to revive. Like that could be interesting. Or honestly, would it have been that big of a deal? Because it's only it's specifically Hercule. It can't be every unit on rotation. So what if you just had guaranteed revive? Why not from the 5th turn? I don't see an issue with that much. Like he still have to run him on the team, and if he dies before then, you're just screwed over. So it's like there's still a risk in bringing this guy. But he basically just needs a revamp. All of this just needs a revamp. Like that has to be completely different. He has to become like a support unit for like bond a parent and child. Give him a 70% chance to dodge and recooking, right? Yeah, make him very similar to that Gohan from the Worldwide Celebration, the Gohan and Goku exchange unit. That would be great. But yeah, we're gonna end off on the Blue Fusions. I wouldn't change anything about them. Yeah, no, I would not change anything about them. I think they're just that good. They're too good. They're as good as they need to be. They're better than they need to be, honestly. They're top 5 units in the game. If you looked at me straight in the eye and said these guys suck, they need buffs, I wouldn't believe you and I'd punch you. Probably. Nah, probably not, but you know, I just give you this weirded outlook. Just like, what's wrong with you? These guys are insane. Amazing. Just, oh my goodness, they're so... I'm not even going to get into that. Anyways, that is the 8th anniversary overall. All the units and stuff like that, how I would change them. That's pretty much it. Again, Super 17 does release tonight. I'll be streaming summons if you're interested. I have a collab planned as well. Stream summons, so keep a look at there. Haha, but yeah. That is all for me. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out, guys. Oh, wait, no. I'm a liar. I'm gonna change something about this guy. Make this high chance. Yeah, actually, no, I'm a huge liar. I was looking at Vegeta. I was thinking, like, Vegeta's perfect. Okay. Honestly, this should be a high chance, and that's all I would really realistically change. Make it a high chance. But if they really wanted to go crazy, make this, instead of crit, guaranteed super. And then make this instead of a guaranteed super crit. Right? Wouldn't that just fit the other so well? Like if this guy had a guaranteed additional super instead of getting crit, which doesn't really matter because he's already super effective, he just does overall more damage probably. This guy getting guaranteed crit when he's already doing 1, 2, realistically 3 here, and then his own 4, and then hit a potential 5. Like, does he really need the extra attack if he's just going to be guaranteed critting on all of them? He would do more damage overall. But that's not really that big of a deal. They're perfectly fine as they are. I wouldn't necessarily be like they need a change. I would really like this to be a high chance though, because I hate medium chances on additionals. They suck. You just never get them. They're unreliable. But that's really it. Maybe that's just me getting unlucky and salty. But I wouldn't necessarily like go on a and be like, that has to be changed. It's like a little nitpick. A little small nitpick. Okay, I'm done. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.